Hello, this is Malorian. We're now on to the third game of the Warhammer tournament. And honestly, so far up to this point, the first game between tactical blunders on my own part and dice, and then me just being lazy at the end, I not only got a loss, I got a massacre loss, really. And then the second game, no disrespect to my opponent, but it was pretty much an easy win. So I was really happy going into the third game, the last normal game of the first day, because this one was going to be a great game. There's this guy, usually I don't drop names, but this guy is known as the Stad, and you can always tell when he's around because he's yelling and having lots of fun. And the other cool thing is he's telling me at the very beginning of the whole tournament that, hey, last year when we played, he was playing the demon army. Well, now he went and he turned over to orcs and goblins because of me. So that was awesome. Can't wait to do orcs and goblins versus orcs and goblins. Always a great thing, especially against another fun opponent. And it's going to be a really neat scenario here too. This is actually the ogre table. Now the whole idea is that there's the maw in the middle, and really the maw rules for itself has all these things where, like, if you fly over it, you might be eaten, you can't cast spells across it, but it really just means, like, yeah, there's this little ball of things you don't want to be around. The more important thing is that whenever you destroy a unit in combat or pursue it, you get this corpse, like, blood token thing. And then what you can do is that on your turn, you can go dump it into the maw thing there, get extra victory points, get magical bonuses. But for the most part, we're just going to be killing each other, having lots of fun. And hey, let's see who comes out on top. Alright, so here we are looking at its army on the left side of the board. He has some orc archers inside these huts. The one thing that's cool about these huts here is there's actually supposed to be ogres inside, so every game turn you roll to see if some of them get eaten. Then he has a good-sized unit here of black orcs, and they're not actually black orcs, they're immortals. There's Grimgor in there. There was two other orc and goblin players other than myself, both are doing Grimgor, and that makes these guys so scary. Weapon skill 5, hatred, has to be respected. Behind them there's a rock lava, there's some boar boys. He actually has a Wyvern rider, that's pretty cool. Then he has a block of these orcs with 2 hand weapons. Then over here he has his savages. These aren't the big ones yet, though. Then he has in there, of course, there's a shaman. He's got the shrunken head. Then there's the savage orc boar boys. And here he has another savage shaman. And then behind them, those guys there are the big ones. And in there he has his BSB. On the far right, then finally, he has more orc archers and an ogre. For my part over here, I'm just kind of showing you my deployment. Again, if you want to see it, what things are, you can go to my intro video. But the main thing I want to talk about on this side is that this is Operation Beat Grimgor. And I know that fighting these guys, I mean, even if I can go to my savages and maybe win, I need that to be as in my favor as possible. So the idea is going to be to shoot the hell of that unit because there's only 30. And that means if I do any wounds to them, they're going to be losing attacks. And then I'm going to be trying to position my chariot so I can hit them at the same time, try and kill even more before they get to combat. And hey, I also have my wolf riders here to slow them down. Otherwise, on this side, I got basically everything else. Those black orcs are actually in the building, and so I was going to deal with some angry ogres there as well. Both going to be hopping out soon here. For this one, from my wizarding hat, I believe I got a Laurel Light. Yeah, it was Laurel Light for this one. And so, hey, maybe I can get some weapon skill 10, initiative 10 ogres. That'd be pretty cool, right? So overall, it looks like this, and yeah, I mean, this is after his first turn in my vanguards, and it's really pretty much straightforward at this point. He moved up. He really has the one war machine. I don't remember doing anything this turn. I don't seem to be missing any dudes. So yeah, it's just really him moving up, and now my turn to start causing some trouble. So on my turn on this side, I'm basically going up there to slow down his stuff, and then you can see my chariots all getting into position for extreme flanking maneuvers. I did have some failed animosity here with my savages, but hey, they weren't going to be doing anything anyway. Otherwise, on this side, the plan here is that I'm pretty sure that one-on-one, my blocks can beat any of his stuff. The issue if he starts to team up on me. So what I'm doing here is doing a real thing here where I'm going to be redirecting all of his savage stuff. Because if he charges into my wolf riders with the one main unit, it'll block the savages. Then I can go into them, they can't flee, I'll be destroying them and maybe overrunning into the other savages. But that's like one thing gone. The main thing here that I'm hoping happens is he charges in with both units, then he has to be overrunning towards the Black Orcs, showing off a flank. Now I am giving some pretty good respect to the Giant right now because Giants aren't typically good. However, Giants in combination with something else, where they're adding in all those extra hits and thunderstomps you can't really dedicate to them, is a big deal. So it might be hard to see from this picture, but I was very careful to keep them in my front arc. Otherwise, over here, all he does is charge me with the unit of Orcs, not the Black Orcs. But hey, if nothing else, they're going to be slowed down. And you can see here, I've already killed some of them with my war machines on my previous turn. Over here, he actually didn't charge with the boar boys, he only charged with the savages. So this was a combination I didn't expect, but really these now boar boys are going to be blocking everything, and when he overruns, he basically won't overrun anywhere. And you know what? I'm totally fine with that. So after everything's said and done, it looks like this. Of course, he crushes my wolves on both sides, gets him some corpse tokens. Otherwise, he did kind of move over his boar boys a little bit there. And you know what? This is now going to be great because, again, remember, I don't want to be engaging all of his stuff at once. So what I can do now is just basically deal with the Giant, which basically ran to my flank and turned. A little bit hard to see it right now, while my trolls just go to town on those savages. Otherwise, he's kind of, after taking some losses, reformed his savage orcs and stuff, sorry, his immortals, and his boar boys are looking at my chariots. And again, this is not a bad thing because let me show you what I do. What I do is I just charge all three of my chariots into the boar boys. That means the boar boys are dead. Then I'll overrun. I should get 2 into the wyvern. If I can kill the wyvern, that guy is basically pointless. And then the chariot will get into the flank of the orcs after I have a chance to magic and shoot them. So I'll get to shoot those guys up and then hold them up for another turn. Over here, I'm going into the savages, and yeah, I mean, I know savages are good, but these guys are not biggins, and I'm trolls, baby. Over here, a little bit of blurry picture, but basically everything I said was going to happen, happened. And overall, the left side of the board looks like this. So the Black Orcs are stuck in spot because of what just happened there. I'm moving up with my savages basically to try and clean them up after they take some more losses. And then, you know, his other orcs a little bit farther back. I've been hitting them with some war machines and stuff. And yeah, it's just looking pretty good here. Where my characters are, like my wizarding hat dude, that's actually where my bunker is. It's just, of course, doesn't balance on this piece of terrain. Otherwise, on this side, you can see here that I'm basically giving the Giant no respect. I'm just moving up to look at the boar boys, and that's just going to be pinning in the biggins behind. And then meanwhile, when I beat the savages there, I just, you know, didn't chase them because, you know, who knows if they'll rally or not. And then I'm just reforming to deal with the main target, which is over here. Because on his turn, there's not much he can really do to get out of this. And then on my turn, I can charge everything. So before those savages are back in the fight, I've already landed the killing blow. Over here, he decides, even though his immortals are stuck, he charges in with this other unit. I'm not really too worried about this. Again, I got the biggins. I have extra attacks and more powerful attacks. So hopefully this should be a thing where I'm just easily killing these guys off. And then over here, he decides only to go in with the giant. And I mean, I think the idea here, of course, is that he's leadership 10. I've done only one wound so far to him with war machines and stuff, which was unfortunate. But hey, there's not a good chance I could do the other 4 wounds. And if not, he'll be holding me in place. So pretty good move on his part. Over here, yeah, I beat up all those guys and they get away. Otherwise, of course, he destroys my chariot with Grimgore, but not after until I went to kill like 6 more of his immortals. On the other side there, though, I was able to kill the Wyvern, so job well done. He did smash my freaking chariots in return, though, so that wasn't good. But hey, that's 100 points that already got their points back from Boar Boys, and now I've grounded this Wyvern boss. So that's all worth it if you ask me. Over here, pretty much, yeah. Oh, sorry, he didn't want to charge in with his savages, but they actually failed their frenzy test and charged in. So what happened, of course, is I slaughtered all of them. The giant actually went to town on me, and so I wasn't able to kill him. I think I did like 3 more wounds to him. He's still alive. So I've turned around to deal with him, but that now means that it's up to the trolls to beat the biggins. His savages have rallied, but I think overall this is still a perfect place to be in. So over here, we're now going to finally have that big fight. The Savage Biggins are going into the Mortals, and with all the losses he's taken, and I've lost like 1 from my 1 animosity thing, I'm pretty sure I'll be fine. Over here, in I go into the Biggins, and again, it's just so many attacks. Like, this is just, yeah, what do you do? I mean, he's going to get no armor save against this. He'll get to hit me first, but this is a lot of freaking attacks. So over here, I pretty much wipe out the Immortals and then run them down, the remainder, as I go here into the War Boss. After that War Boss had destroyed my chariot. And over here, I also destroyed the Immortals and or not the Immortals, the Biggins, and ran them down. Now, I also destroyed the Giant, and what happened here is that I just reformed a kill with these archers because I'm in no other spot here to kill anything else. Now, this looks bad because my trolls are now showing their flank to some savages. And it's like, wow, that's a really poor choice, Malorian. But really what you got to look at here is that little orc dice that's on me. That marks that I have speed of light on. So these guys are weapon skill 10, initiative 10, and so really, yeah. So when these savages come into me, first of all, there's not many of them left. They don't have their banner. They don't have frenzy anymore. So it's going to be really hard for them to deal with me. So they come charging in, but like I said, they're only going to get 2 ranks of attacks. And after this here, yeah, they basically bounce. They do just a couple wounds to me. I slaughter them. I break them. I run them down. The war boss on the other side manages to survive. I've gone up for more ranks just to try and break him through static combat res. Meanwhile, my war machines have turned the other orcs into almost nothing. And it's at this point here we say, you know what? It's over. I've lost almost no points. He's almost tabled. And yeah, remember, like, this was his turn. So on my turn now, I'm charging into the archers. I'm probably going to be finishing off the war boss, shooting and destroying the rest of those orcs. So this is pretty much it. So there you go, a big win for the Orc and Goblins, my Orc and Goblins, and it was just a really fun game. I can't really say this enough, but if you ever want to guarantee, like, you know what, I really need to have a good game, do an Orc and Goblins versus an Orc and Goblins. It's always a great game. And in this case here, I mean, even in times where it's like, things are being crushed or whatever's going, both of us are laughing, having a good time, and just enjoying the army. It was also something that for me, I felt a lot better because I didn't feel in this one here, it was something where dice was really just controlling things. I mean, like, I'd be throwing 6 dice at foot of Gork and he'd just scroll it. So it's like more the regular pattern. And then I was able to sneak through the speed of light onto the trolls. And I gotta say, like speed 10, weapon skill 10 trolls are pretty damn awesome, and they're just slapping things around like crazy, but at the same time they would have beaten those Biggins anyway. And then when the Savages came in the flank, worst case scenario, I would have been steadfast. So yeah, just I like to feel too that in this game here too, I did get to do few little tricks. It's one of these things here where I love just playing like Orky and like wah kill stuff. But then again, there's still the tactician in me that likes to know that I did something other than just move my guys up to win. I know I'm a Lorian, it's just like 3 units push up, crush the army. But hey, to be fair, there's a little play here as well with the Throy units and the other type of chaff like the chariots and stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. And next one up is Malorian versus Matt Reeson. So get ready because here it comes.